Loud noise. What they determined was some engineer, I'm an engineer, some dumb engineer, because of the tools that existed at the time, were not the tools you have today. They made a mistake. They designed the wing structure, and at 332.5 miles an hour, the wings became tuning forks and they twisted themselves off. Okay? This was an intelligent group of people, and they didn't have the tools. Now you got computers, so you can fly a little more safely. As the technology evolved, what began to happen is, somebody mentioned transistors, the little black peas. Yes. Okay. The black things, right here. They evolved in integrated circuits. 10,000 of the black things in one circuit. If you were to take this, which is about 10 years old now, a breadboard of a new circuit, about 10 years ago, take that and try to do it with technology before that, it would take up half the room. That's even after two. As that breadboard evolves, then you get into these circuits. Now, these big circuits have maybe 100,000 parts in them. What's happening is that it's evolving from the old technology into the computer technology. Aha! Now, this is a hard question. What is this? A zebra. Okay, you got it. It's a telephone. But interesting enough, this was the first, obviously, two-way communication. What did it take, and which is not connected to this? Wires. Okay? But you're talking down wires. How did that all evolve? We're going to show you. Does anybody know what the phrase solid state means? Okay. That was the conversion of tubes to transistors, where it became solid. There was no glass, no filaments. Okay. We're going to show you, and we're going to ask for a volunteer up front, particularly. In fact, volunteer, would you help me? Okay. Volunteer to help? Good, thank you. I really appreciate that. Now, we're going to show the first solid-state telephone, okay? Now, I'm going to use this for a reason. Would you be kind enough to just hold this? Okay? And I'd like you to walk down towards, let's see, down that direction, okay? Just keep walking. Whoops. Okay, Sarah, watch it because I'll tangle this up. I've just done it. We're going to lose the whole show here. Okay, go on, go on. Okay, keep walking down there. Okay, fine. Keep walking, and I'm going to have a straight shot. Can you keep going? There we go. Good thing he's not on the edge of a bridge here. Okay. All right. Testing 1, 2. Okay. Now, just hold it and I'll pick it up, okay? All I want you to do is just tell me your name and count to 10.
My name is Irvin Carlisle.
What about?
My name is Irvin Carlisle.
Count to 10. I know you do that, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's it. Okay. That's stupid, right? I mean, 2 cups of a piece of string. Can anybody tell me what was happening down that string? Vibration. Excellent, excellent. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that would be one heck of a long hunk of string to get from here to London. Keep it tight! Yes, Your Majesty. All right, what do you do from there? You take the same concept of vibrations, but instead of having it on a piece of string, you send it on a wire, and you use electricity. You take the vibrations of the voice, and you send it through a little device. A microphone. Now, those, like my son here, he has a rock group, okay? And he's used microphones and big amplifiers, and for 20 years they've been blowing my basement apart. Anyway, a microphone. That converts the vibration of the voice into electrical current, travels down some wires, it goes through a small speaker, if you will, and it vibrates, the person hears it at the other end. Do you realize what technology is in here? 1950? No. 1930? No. 1895? Got it. Harvey, coal. What happened to this technology? What happened was the fact that it was not a science that made this little microphone. They sent a little old man, that was before women's lib, no little old lady, little old man out to the cornfield and he would pick up a hunk of coal. Coal, anybody know from science? What is coal? It starts with C-H-F. Carbon. Got it. Carbon. You feel the coal and say, oh, that would make a good microphone. Well, there was not a high demand for those kind of people to go out in the coal field and do a coal. And eventually what happened? They began to die off. Okay? And so technology was forced because that art began to disappear. So what you have today is not all modern technology. A point. Sometimes as you go into a particular field of science or any field, sometimes you don't have to try to revolutionize the world in certain ways. Take some of the things that already exist and use them. Now, one underlying theme that I'm going to be trying to put across to you is some of you that would like to create, and I have plenty of patents in life, many things, and we go out and try to put it into the marketplace or to get somebody to buy it. Wrong. There are so many needs out there. The best way to do it is look for the needs and pick the technology and bring the two together. And along the way, two things are going to happen. You're going to find a better way to do it. Voila, you get your ego trip with patents. And at the same time, bottom line, you make some money.
Could you explain to them what a patent is?
Okay? A patent is a legal document that should never be written. Reason is this way. It takes considerable time and money, and the straightforward answer is, in today's world, there are too many people that really don't care if they have a patent or not. But there is value in a patent because, in effect, if you run a company, number one, you can sell it, but the rights to somebody else, your design, and number two, it does give you some protection. And that's really what the intent is. It's a legal document that says you are the inventor of an idea, a product, a piece of computer software, or something. And as such, you have the rights to that. And the court says you have the right to defend yourself if someone copies it. Okay? Now, I got some small companies. I can't go back to my parent company and say to them, oh, I'm going to sue you, RCA or GE. So there's a practical thing there. But it is a legal document that says you are the legal inventor. Now, if you work for a company, the company may decide they want you to sign this over and they give you a royalty or something. Okay? But that's basically it. A legal document says you are the inventor and you have the legal rights that some other people can't just copy. That's what it happens. That's the basic two-way. Well, we have wires. What do? Everybody knows what this is.
Walkie-talkie.
CD walkie-talkie. Radio Shack. Yeah, right. Okay. Now we've broken the barrier of the wire. We got into two-way communication. Well, I don't know about you, but that's a little bigger than my wrist radio. We're getting there. Okay. What's the whole philosophy behind our companies? Our companies literally are designed to provide independence, mobility, and a way for emergency communications to lead an elderly, a handicapped person, a child that has a heart problem, and communicate those emergency needs to the outside world. Okay? I'm going to be upfront with you. It's a good social thing to do, and from a business standpoint, it makes sense. Okay? If you can combine those two things of helping your fellow man or woman, and at the same time have a good business, that's a nice place to get to. All right, we're going to demonstrate a product. This is a product we're looking at, and we're going to ask you to go ahead, and we're not going to give you a quiz unless you want to consider the fact you get an automatic aid. If you can sign the name, okay? You get an automatic aid. We're going to ask you to fill out a sheet of paper, and this is part of our 21st century research. We want to know certain things about this product, and we're going to demonstrate it. And this product, we're going to pass out the sheets so you don't need to take any notes. Okay, the sheets will come out about 10 minutes before the end of the program. But we did ask you to bring basically a pencil and something to write on. We'll pass out the sheets. Okay, now this guy may sound like Max. Everybody know who Max is? Hey, go colleges. Okay, what's his last name? You got it. Okay. Anyway, it looks like not going to come on this guy, right? All right, it's a speech synthesis system, meaning It uses a special high technology circuit that actually creates human-like voice. No tape recorders or whatever. This device right here.
Emergency.
Now,
Message canceled. Reset.
okay. As I was,
Emergency. Message canceled. Reset.
there's only one thing about these computer systems, sometimes they're mind of their own, okay? Now, I could get to this, or an elderly person, or a child, or whatever, could get to this unit and push the button, but we can also provide a transmitter. You wear it, your neck, belt, whatever, and we can activate it. Okay, who would like to have a heart attack? There you go. Have a heart attack, okay? Push the button up, it's a slide button, okay?
Emergency.
Oh, there you go, okay? Push the button back, so I can...
Emergency.
We're gonna let it go. 30 seconds here. So that now, did you turn it back on again? Okay, I trust you. Okay. It's gonna go through 30 seconds here because if it was not a true emergency, she could have hit a cancel button. But we're gonna let it go through the whole call. It's gonna grab the telephone line and call a doctor or a hospital or whoever's programmed into the system. It's dialing out now, and it's going to go ahead and recite a message.
Emergency.
Little low
There is a
technology.
medical emergency at NASHHOOL. The phone number is 4360836.
Okay? Now, it then says, there's a medical emergency, if you understand the message, push 3, and all the operator does is ask to push 3, and the system comes back and says, message received, which means it's up on the way. So it's a combination of two-way communications, radio transmitter. This is specifically designed to help the elderly, the handicapped, whatever. But it can help other people too, and that's going to be one of my questions. Yes.
You gotta record your phone number and all that?
Yeah, sure. Phone number, put a call back. Okay, it knows you've got a word on here. So that's the beginning. That's the beginning of some personal communications. You can say, what does it look like? What does Max look like? That's what Max looks like. Okay? He's not as nice as the one on the computer screen. What does that do? That provides a little mobility to the person that's got a little problem. I'm not talking about mental problem when you get older, you don't know all that. But a physical problem, okay? What about the person that's caring for the person? A doctor, a nurse, a mother, father, whatever. Well, now we can do this. So we're going to have somebody come in again. Who wants to be a nurse?
Hey, I
We have a volunteer for a nurse. Here's our doctor, a nurse, okay, doctor. And basically, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to improve the technology. I'm going to use my little wrist device. It's going to activate this, but it's also going to page our doctor here that might be a half a mile away, okay? Or it could be whatever. You just hold that, okay? Don't do what I just did, okay? So I'm going to activate the system.
Emergency. Message canceled.
So you just push the little button and it will shut up.
Excuse me. I call you, right?
Whoops. It's really a system, isn't it? Yeah, the system really pages you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Let's give him a hand. Yes.
By the time the guy kept saying emergency, the person could have been and died.
Hey, that is not, all right, Max. That's not a foolish question, because that's in turn why we provide the first line of defense.
He only said it twice in that line.
Okay?
He said it twice, and then that beat after the second time he said it.
This cost us 30 times. But his question, that's why we provide a more immediate response, and this is really intended for someone in the next door apartment, in the backyard, so they don't even have to wait for that to call an ambulance. they can in turn page somebody that's very quickly right there. All right, so what we're doing is now we're getting into the paging business. All right, the consumer electronics is starting to evolve and combine with, all right, what is this? Hey, computer keyboard. And if you play it right, you know, you can hook it up to David's rock group. We didn't bring the rest in, obviously. And of course, what's happened? More miniaturization. We then start combining this with calculating functions to the point where we don't even need any batteries now because it runs by what? Get down. Hey, these are sharp people, I tell you. So now, all of a sudden, you got technology that says compact, two-way communications, calculating, all built into a common system. Now you take and you reduce the size of your computer and you do something like this. Now this is where your teachers come. Now you can bull me, you can hiss me, but we have a contract with a company. We're developing something about this big where your teacher can walk into the classroom and take attendance and push a few buttons, and the central computer in the office will know if you are here or you're not here. Okay?
You're trying to keep us from sleep.
You got it. The other thing
All that do is attack.
the other thing is test scores. So you get instantaneous response maybe within the day of what how you doing. Okay? And the main thing is it allows accurate record keeping. Okay?
I hope it don't work. I hope it goes.
Now what we're going to do is take the same technology, reduce it down to the wristwatch, and we're going to provide it to people that will be able to roam 2 or 3 or 4 miles around an entire community, have one of our little wrist systems on it, and if they need help, we'll be able to pick up the message, run it through a computer, and the most unique thing is show on a computer screen where they are. Aha! Now, there's going to be some sharp person out there that's going to say, but I don't want them to know where I am, right? Okay, what we've done is we've added hold and off switch. Simply means you turn it off, nobody can find you, you turn it on. When you push the button, then you've got a problem with the locate. So it's the combination of the low power solar technology, microtechnology, and at the same time computer technology to allow us to help people in a problem situation. Okay? Anybody hear of the word biofeedback? Biofeedback.
Feedback from the limb.
There was a hand. Can you give me just 4,000 words or less essay on biofeedback? What is biofeedback? Yeah, it's basically the fact that you can go ahead and do something with your body and using a little bit of technology, you can know what you're doing. So in this case, this is a little device that measures skin resistance. Ah, hey, why do you think? Do you have first-hand experience, sir? No? Okay. We turn this on. You notice there's a little squeal. Okay. Now, I can think of a stressful situation. And later on, no. The point is, using the mental capabilities and the biofeedback techniques, we are entering in a new era. Okay? And not only is it the era where we can help people that basically can't physically move, and if an alarm goes off, we can activate our system. Or we could have activated the system. Ah, thank you. He's a little slow once in a while. So, what's beginning to happen? All of this technology is starting to get down into this. Everybody knows what it is. That's a lot. It's a calculator, and eventually, if we have anything to do about it, it'll be a two-way communicating device. And you've seen this guy, one of the best design engineers there is, Dick Tracy. For years, he's projecting this, and we're going to do it.
They got wings to fly with.
Wings to fly with, you got it.
Reset.
At this stage now, we've tried to talk about the evolution of technology, personal communication. You've been very helpful. We've gone along with, thank you again for the little paper cup thing. We've gone along with my klutziness of knocking my $400 amplifier over. We've walked through technology, and now we're going to ask you for some input. Okay? So David's going to pass out some sheets. We'd appreciate it if you could start the rolls. You each take one if you would, and he'll walk you through it. Now, while he's doing this, let me have your attention for just a second. While he's doing this, I'm going to sit down. And the reason I'm going to sit down is I'm going to demonstrate to you the newest technology. Does anyone know what ESP is, or extra-sensory perception? Yes. Yes. You can predict things before they happen. Of what might happen in the future. That's clairvoyance. There's another one. There's a phrase called psychokinesis, and it simply means, yes, you have an idea. Pick something up, move something with your mind.
No way.
Ah, doubter in the crowd.
You can do telekinetic.
While you're filling this out, I'm going to sit down. David's going to pass out a device to one of you. I'd appreciate you just holding it in the manner he shows you with the hole at the top. I'm going to sit down here, and I'm going to play a paraplegic. I'm going to play a person that has no mechanical abilities. And I'm going to think an alarm system on. Okay? So while you look at the questions, be creative, as it says. It's not a 5,000-word essay. We're going to take 2 minutes to fill it out, and I'm going to be relaxing in preparation for, hopefully, an interesting little bit of science.
Are we supposed to go ahead and answer this now?
Yes, please.
It's about Nash.
Oh, this is basically Nash, yes. The transmitter, the receiving system dials out an existing product.
What kind of rock is this? How do you think that system can be used? Gina, you have a job. Gina. Okay? Yeah, you have a job. Not looking around talking.
Ways that you may not think you're doing that much with it, but actually through technology, it can alert for help. It's like that. Stimulating his mind enough, it's alerting this thing. If you take a quadriplegic person, they could train their mind in such a way that if they needed help and there was nothing they could do and they had a device like this, they could think about a certain thing and it would set off an alarm.
What kind of stuff?
It's just a matter of training your mind. It would be different for every person.
Now that's the new technology.
Do you want me to answer it?
And once you can do that, you table right here. What should be better, table or should we just pass them up? Is everyone table done? Why don't we just pass them down the middle, roll down the middle, and